Namaste. As you all know, we've been decoding Guruji Sundararajan Anantha's book, Why Shiva Linga is Not a Phallus. And we have done two episodes on that. And we are just going chapter by chapter. Okay. So today, we are doing his ninth chapter, which is Kamasutra. Guruji, welcome. Welcome back.
Namaskaram, namaste, welcome.
Namaste.
Thanks
Namaste.
for having me.
Namaste. Namaste. Guruji, just simple terms, what is Kama Sutra, Guruji?
It's in English. If we translate sutra, it's aphorisms or
Mhm.
verses of pleasure, but not direct pleasure. It's what we
Mhm.
feel in our mind.
Okay.
So the internal pleasure, the verses on the internal pleasure. That's Kama
Did
Sutra.
you did you say aphorisms?
Aphorism,
Aphorism. Okay. Okay.
aphorisms. So they have
Mhm.
English word for like a collection of verses on
Mhm.
karma.
Hymns and all, right? Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, sutras.
Okay. 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 All right. Guruji, if you don't mind, so I understand Kama Sutra is totally a different thing uh, in your ninth chapter. But I plan to do an episode of myself, uh, which was based out of tantric sex.
Yeah.
Okay, I prepared that, and for some reasons I just kept aside because I've been doing other podcasts also. So, if you don't mind, can I ask some questions from the tantric sex also? Right.
No problem. No problem.
Okay. Okay.
It will
Okay.
be
So,
good because then the audience will know the difference. It will be good.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah. So that triggers my next question. What is the difference between Kama Sutra and the Tantric sex,
Okay.
Guruji?
Um, it is a world of a difference because
Mm-hmm.
Kama Sutra was summarized and written by sage
What's
Vatsyayana,
what's Yan?
Vachayana in the first, roughly first to sixth century, his time period,
Mm-hmm.
most probably first century,
Mm-hmm.
for the benefit of human beings, both men and women, on the right way to conduct their life. So that is
Mm-hmm.
for the common people, and it does not involve tantric uh, s- spirituality or
Spirituality.
tantric sex or nothing,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. So to put it in proper context,
Mm-hmm.
everyone has to understand the history of the Kama Sutra. Originally, it was Kama Shastra. There is a difference in the terminology. Even up to today, a lot of the Indologists or historians, they get the terminology mixed up. They think
Mm-hmm.
Shastra and Sutra means the same. It is not.
No.
Okay. Kama Shastra had 100,000 verses, okay, and it was divided to Dharma Shastra by Swayambhu Manu,
Mm-hmm.
Artha Shastra by Brihaspati, and then Kama Shastra by Nandi in 1,000 verses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was separated because that Shastras, all the Shastras are hidden for a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
When Kali Yuga started, the right people, that's what I believe, and a lot of my gurus have told. The right
Mm-hmm.
people hit all the important Shastras because it will be misused during Kali
Yeah.
Yuga because the
Yeah.
mind of man will go bad. They'll use it for
Mm-hmm.
the bad reason only, not for good. There's no
Mm-hmm.
purity and clarity in their mind.
Right.
So then it was deemed lost, and then it was again abridged by Swetaketu
Mm-hmm.
and into 500 verses, and then again by another later author 250 verses,
Mm-hmm.
and last was Sage Vatsyayana. While he was a student, while he was a brahmachari, he was not a sex guru or a
Mm-hmm.
sex studying. He was a student, a brahmachari
Mm-hmm.
studying because brahmachari uh, section Hindus, they study everything under the guru to become
mm,
knowledgeable. So he studied and he became an expert. So he summarized it into 1,250 shlokas
mm.
into 7 parts,
Okay.
and I think about 42 chapters, if I'm not wrong. So the
Mhm,
7 parts, he broke it down into, first was the general part, and then number two was the sexual part, and then number
mhm.
three is about gaining a wife, marriage, and those kind of things. Then number four,
Maintaining it.
yeah, all that household part, and then
Mm,
number five was again about relationship with men and women outside of the family,
mhm.
and number six was about courtesans, the dasis, the courtesans. I don't know if
In the courtyard,
yeah,
in the
the courtiers,
uh,
the trained prostitutes, or with the
mhm,
that level of courtesans, the highest,
mhm,
and then was on the um, how to make one attractive, and also to do a lot of the magic stuff to
mhm,
make someone like you and all that. Those kind of recipes were given, even food to clean the body. That was the last part. Then it had separate chapters. So hold on. The very interesting thing,
mhm,
but the Kama Sutra by Sage Vatsayana is that he had summarized everything very beautifully. And in
mhm,
the first chapter, he actually talks about the need for human beings to study the Kama Sutra, why they need to study, right?
mhm,
He very nicely he says, because people argue that even animals have sex,
mhm.
right? And they have children, and their progeny goes on. So
Right.
what's the need of human beings to learn about this when it's natural?
Yeah.
That's where he answers that animals don't think about it. That's why it's natural. Their thought
Mhm.
process is not. It's just when the season comes,
Okay.
because of hormonal changes, they just have sex.
Mm.
But human beings, we have a thinking capacity. So we are not an animal. What he says nicely is we are not a beast. We are not a beast of a man also. So being human beings, whatever we do, there's a quality factor to it. So you can do it in a very ugly manner. You can do it in a very beautiful manner that gives more meaning and more pleasure to your life instead of
And
being
good,
any.
let me stop you there. What I observed is human beings are the one who does sex always, right? Uh, when it comes to animals, there are times where
Yeah.
they go off.
Because their seasons are different. Our seasons are monthly, followed by the
Mhm,
moon. So it's a shortest time period.
mhm, mhm.
Because the menstruation. Animals'
Mhm.
menstruation time is different. So different
Okay.
animals have different. And their
Okay.
mating season is different, right?
Yeah. So that's what exactly I was talking about. So
Mm.
I heard from animal these people who are into preserving animals and all, right, especially in the Kerala forest at all. So I heard them saying, not just in the forest area, even some people who takes care of the elephants and all
Yeah.
other wild animals. I heard from them saying, like, there is some kind of a particular season where they are off sex,
Yeah.
and there are seasons where they're prone to.
Yeah.
But humans, it's just like 365
Yeah.
days. To,
Yeah.
so we don't have that kind of a seasonal thing. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay, coming back, Guruji, see, West has through West ties. So these days it is just changing because of the paradigm shift or whatever it is. What I seen was like 10 years, 12, 15 years back. In their eyes, it is the Kama Sutra is something like a porn site or something like that.
Mm.
Right? They didn't much realize the value uh, what these kind of scriptures bring to
Yeah.
the table. Do
Yeah.
you want to talk about that?
Yeah. The reason being because Western society, which is grounded in Christian roots,
mm,
right? So they come from a Puritan background,
mm.
okay, where
What do you mean by Puritan?
Puritans,
Puritan. Okay. Okay.
Puritan,
Mm, mm,
okay, where sex is sin,
mm, mm, mm,
okay, sex is a sin, and from that background, when medieval Europe was like that, then when
mm,
they came to Asia, it was a shocker for them. Okay,
mm,
we must understand. Okay, the one of the records that I know personally I read of was the visit of Marco Polo in the 13th century. He came to Kerala and he came to Tamil Nadu and he
mm,
visited the Chola king,
mm,
Rajaraja Chola, Rajendra Chola,
mm,
Rajaraja Chola, 13th century. He visited him
mm,
personally. He
mm.
was welcome in the port, and the king and queen came to meet him with their entourage.
Okay.
So, what he observed was, and he stayed there for a few months, and what he observed, he wrote in his book, was
Mm,
all the men and women wore only some kind of cloth to cover their below their hips, their genital area.
that's right. Actually, that's right. There
Upper
was time
upper body was exposed, both men and women,
exposed. Mm,
men
mm.
and women. The only difference he noticed with the king and queen was that they wore some kind of jewelry, more
Jewelry.
jewelry
Mm,
on their body and at their
mm,
girdle area,
mm,
both the queen and king.
mm.
And the king came and sat on the earth. So he was surprised the king did not sit on a throne because
Mm.
Western countries they carry the throne wherever they go.
Correct. Mm,
So here he was simple and all his people sat down around him.
mm,
And when he visited their so-called city, he found that all the men and women were trading and doing business and guarding and everything equally, both men and women, and they were totally strong and fit and very slim because they were always doing work, walking outside, running, everything, field work. So he was really astounded by what he saw because they were not obese or sick; they were healthy people,
mm,
scorched by the sun, and this was how they lived. And
mm,
up to 1971, when the missionaries came to Bali, people just used to wear the sarong, the cloth they tie around their waist, the long cloth sarong. Upper body in Bali, I've seen the photographs up to 1970s. The men and women were bare chested. So that was the norm in Asia because of the hot weather. We
mm.
didn't have clothes. So coming from the Puritan background, they found this because they have not seen. They always cover because of the cold, not because of shyness, because of cold.
Mm,
And women were treated in a very bad way there. Here,
mm.
women had all the freedom they wanted.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, Guruji.
Yeah.
Even though it was exposed, those days the rape and all was not, you
No,
know,
they were
not
they had
there. And
they had
these
freedom
days,
because
mm,
Thailand is one of the remnants of the old era.
mm,
Thailand till today.
mm.
Look at the freedom the women have.
Correct, correct,
One country in the world, no,
correct.
even Western countries don't have that freedom. So it's because of the old civilization. India was like that until the Mughals came in, because Mughals raped. We
Mm,
must be fair. We are talking about history. When a group of marauders, thousands of them come in, and when they'll rape, they will even
mm,
rape the dead body. That's why
mm.
the queens perform jawhar, self-immolation in the funeral pyre. If not, they'll rape the dead body. That is history, what the Mughals did, right? It's called
Mm.
necrophilia or something.
Yeah, it's a
So,
psychic disorder.
yeah. So they do that. So that's why they burn themselves. So before that, they had the freedom. Hindu women and Asian women had the freedom. So the
Mm,
people who covered them in Southeast Asia were the missionaries. They brought second-hand clothes, say
mm,
this is not right, you must cover yourself, you're poor and everything. But they
mm,
live with the weather, hot
mm.
weather. They jumped and swam whenever they want in the water. Bali. If you've been to Bali, you know how beautiful Bali is.
Yes, yes.
It's a
They
paradise.
still have that culture intact,
Yeah.
the
How do you live in
Ramayana.
paradise? Wearing full
Mm,
clothes with mask and everything? Burqa? That's not paradise.
yeah.
So anyway, let's go back to our topic. So because
I
of
was just
this,
imagining how these people were in this desert, in those scorching sun,
have to cover,
how they wear all those
have
black.
to because the sweat makes them cool. If they don't
Mm,
cover, The sand will get on their body, their eyes and
Yeah,
nose.
yeah.
You have to fully cover
Infections.
and
Infection.
protect the skin from the sun. It's too hot. India
Mm-hmm.
is not so hot. Middle East
Mm-hmm.
is very hot. So they
Mm-hmm.
stay indoors in the caves. They come out more in the night. Till today, they're more indoors than outside.
Mm-hmm.
The practice. So Kama Sutra, for them, anything sexual was taboo, because it was a sin. So to
Mm-hmm.
break that mindset, it's not easy for them, because their grounding from young age is they attend and learn, read the Bible and learn about their religion and all. Whatever the religion says, they believe. So they follow that. So like why I have to say some things is, say, uh, the the way that we study,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we study when we want to learn a subject is totally different what the schools teach.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me give you an example of, okay, when I read the Kama Sutra when I was 16, then I read the Anangaranga, the Kalyanamala, okay, then I read the Radhi Rahasya and a few
Redhi
more,
Rahasya. Mm-hmm.
Radhi Rahasya and a few more other books. I forgot some of the titles.
Mm-hmm.
And then read the Qing Ping Mei from China, read the Zhou Pu Tuan from China. Then we read, that is Chinese sexuality. Then we had to read about the Japanese one. I forgot the title long back, because it's same but it's different. No, they have their own. And then the Perfume Garden of the Arabia, which is a very well-known book in the Western world. And of course, a few of the English works, but the most controversial and radical was, that gave a lot of empowerment to Western women, was Lady Chatterley's Lover. Which was
Chatterley's what?
Lady Chatterley's Lover. She was a
Okay.
lady, that means she
Mm-hmm.
was a wife of a lord, but she
Mm-hmm.
had a lover. So that was a groundbreaking book that shifted the mindset of the uh, women, uh, just before they found the morning after pill, or after.
Mm-hmm.
The contraceptive pill that women put in
Mm.
Western countries nowadays.
While, yeah.
Yeah, after. It is called the morning after pill. So they put it after they had sex the previous night. So
Mm-hmm.
that, and then the last, of course, I remember two books was, we also had to read the Fanny Hill is a U.S. book on the liberation of the Western woman in the U.S. And then their crown work was by Dr. Alex Comfort, The Joy of Sex, where
Mm-hmm.
he talks about the myriad of positions, which the Kama Sutra doesn't talk about. Okay, the difference between the Kama Sutra and all other books was, all other books try to elaborate extensive techniques of lovemaking. Kama Sutra
Mm-hmm.
was not interested in that. Kama Sutra was trying to talk about the quality and the degrees of passion according to the types of women and the type of men.
Mm-hmm.
That's what chapter 2 talks about. But before chapter 2, chapter 1 is the most important chapter,
Mm-hmm.
because Kama Sutra chapter 1 starts with the verse. I only know these two words. Dharmartha Kamavyo Namaha Shastre Prakarte Tattva.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That means like salutations to Dharma, Artha, and Kama.
Mm-hmm.
Dharmartha Kamavyo Namaha Shastre Prakarte Tattva. That means the principles of the Shastras mention this. That means
Okay.
Kama Sutra pays tribute to following the tenets of Dharma of Swayambhu Manu, Artha of Brihaspati, and Kama of Nandikeshwara. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the saying says, when there is a controversy between Dharma, Artha, and Kama, Dharma should be upheld. The other two should be neglected. Dharma is
Mm-hmm.
foremost.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a controversy between Artha and Kama, Artha should win and Kama should be let go. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So Kama should not compromise Artha. Anything to do with your wealth accumulation, your friends, your family, all is karma. Your
Mm-hmm.
cow, your puppy, your dog, your whatever your possession, whatever you can possess, including your intellect, comes under Artha.
Desire.
Knowledge,
Desire. Mm-hmm.
yeah, inside and outside, and family and friends. So when you want to seek pleasure, you cannot forego any of these things. You know, you cannot go and try to have a relationship with your friend's sister because it'll affect your friendship. You know, there are principles and laws that should not affect your wealth building. And also, apart from wealth building and pleasure, your dharma should be upheld at all times. So
mm,
these are very important and serious principles that in the first chapter is ingrained again and again by counter argument why and all that. So people
mm.
understand that. What the Western world always does is that they just straight jump to chapter 2 and they say they're experts in Kama Sutra. They forget about
And
all other stuff.
positions and all these things, right? So
Yeah,
they are interested more on that.
yeah. And also the prohibitions in England at that time, because up
Mm,
to up to the translation of the Kama Sutra in 1878 or around there, I forget the year.
mm,
There were prohibitions in England. They had the Pornographic Act of 1851 or 57
mm,
or 71 Act, okay, where they don't even allow publication of words that describe the anatomy, male genital, female genital,
mm, mm,
whatever female body parts, male body parts. It's not allowed. It comes under the Phonography Act. So there was no published works on this matter. This is why I've mentioned the Kama Sutra in my book, Why the Shiva Linga is Not a Phallus, is
mhm.
because in Kama Sutra, Sage Vatshayana uses the word Jagana. Jagana
Okay.
meaning middle part of a body for both man and woman, or it means the genital area.
Mhm,
So he uses a generic term to explain this.
mm,
But FFR Buttonot and Richard Button, to escape the Phonographic Act,
mhm,
because if they use the word male organ and female organ or genital, it come under the Phonographic Act. They
mhm.
inserted linga and yoni. They inserted linga and
Yeah,
yoni.
but that's a pure Indian word, no, Guruji. So
Pardon?
what's wrong in that? It's
A
how
linga
wrong about?
doesn't mean main genital organ. That's what my book is talking about.
Mm, mm,
It's not. It's been
okay,
inserted by the Western Indologists.
okay.
So because when they converted linga to be a male genital organ and yoni to
Mm,
mean a female genital organ,
mhm,
then when they take this meaning and put it into all our Puranas,
mhm,
the 18 Puranas and all our other Shastras,
mhm.
then it becomes pornographic. That's what they wanted
Right.
to achieve.
So that answers my question also,
Yeah,
Guruji.
yeah.
Mm,
So this was intentionally, purposely done. That's what the evidence in my book is showing.
mhm,
Because they then the word linga and yoni was
mhm,
crystallized in the Kama Sutra translation of Richard Burton and FFR Bhatnagar.
mhm,
So it became famous worldwide and reversed back to India. Our heroes just took it. Oh, the whites are right, the British is always right. So they
mhm,
absorbed it into all the language formats, Marathi,
mhm,
Tamil, whatever you name it. And they
mhm,
said, oh, this is what it means. It means the male gelatin, female gelatin. Over
mhm,
200 years, it became normal. Everybody thought it's normal. It's not normal. It's
mhm.
not in Amara Kosha. So that's
Okay.
where in 1808 they changed it.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay, so that's why it was included in the book to highlight this matter.
mhm,
And we have put excerpts, the right excerpts, so people can understand where it comes from.
mhm.
Okay? But going back to the Kama Sutra,
Okay.
the first chapter talks about all the dharma artha kama, and then explains why human beings need it, and then
Mhm,
it goes on to emphasize on these important matters, and then also gives a very good possible arguments on both sides to say that it's better for human beings to learn something. Then it
mhm.
becomes more artistic, more artful, and more meaningful to our quality of life. So that was the first chapter says, the do's and
Okay.
don'ts.
Okay.
Then the second chapter, okay, I would say that at 16 years old, every human being, man or woman, should read this book. Those days they couldn't,
Mhm,
right? Okay, those days how it was men could. learn it. Normally, men are curious about these things at very young age, and they learn it from somebody who knows about it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's more prevalent for them to be exposed to this knowledge. So
Mm-hmm.
women were advised to learn from a married woman
Mm-hmm.
because they have the real experience. They understand how
Right.
things. They would have learned from their husbands, so they
Mm-hmm.
will be a better teacher with the experience,
Mm-hmm.
and they will be teaching the young lady
Mm-hmm.
by question and answer and by explanation
Mm-hmm.
on the Kama Sutra. Normally, it's a older woman or the
Mm-hmm.
aunt, the mother's sister. The mother won't teach the mother's sister, or a younger friend who's already married, newly married. Then she can teach. So
Okay.
the advice given was for both men and women to study and learn it as much as possible, right?
Okay.
And on chapter 2, it's very important because it talks on the types of women. Okay, there's 4 types of women. They
Mm-hmm.
term them uh, Padmini, Chitrani, Shankini, and Hastini.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, based on their inner nature,
Mm-hmm.
okay, their outer look,
The body language
yeah,
altogether.
face, body, language, and their mannerism,
Mm-hmm.
right, and their likes and dislikes.
Mm-hmm.
So if not, if we do not know this, then it's like we go out and we try to find any woman without even basic knowledge on what type of woman they are. But when a man understands this, then he knows how to approach the woman better, how to treat
Right.
them the way they
Right.
like,
Mm-hmm.
right? So these are the 4 types of women, and
Mm-hmm.
then they further um, subdivide it
Mm-hmm.
according to the size of the genital organs, both the man and woman. Okay, so we can jump out, and when we go down to uh, astrology,
Mm-hmm.
okay, when they're doing matchmaking process, out of the 10 or 12 similarities they look for, one of it is this genital compatibility, okay, which is very important because if the genital compatibility is not there, then if it's because there are about 9 kinds of union, right? The highest and lowest there will be pain for the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a fact because highest is the biggest man, lowest is the smallest genital woman. She will
Mm-hmm.
always be in pain, so she will not have pleasure, not be happy in her life. Okay, the other side, when the woman is the biggest and the man is the lowest, she can't feel the pleasure, so won't be happy for life.
Mm-hmm.
So astrologically, they can find out that this union is not.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
think when a lot of people have seen astrology between, when they choose a girl or guy, they will
Mm-hmm.
know what it is. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's how much importance they gave to sexual compatibility. That's what it's called, and it is written in the Kama Sutra.
Okay. Okay.
Why it's
Even
quoted?
I did a little research on this subject, Guruji. The
Yeah,
type of you know.
man and woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right.
it is very pertinent. One thing we must understand is,
Mm-hmm.
okay, a lot of people write books, Western world, Eastern world, and all, and nowadays especially, they write according to what they believe in, what their passion. And
Mm-hmm.
my book also is the same. But
Okay.
when the sages write books, it's not about passion. It
Mm-hmm.
it is about exposing the facts,
Mm-hmm.
whether right or wrong. They will expose A and B, and we have to conclude ourselves whether this is needed for us or not. And we are
Okay.
talking about first century AD because there's been a lot of accusations on the Kama Sutra that is
Mm-hmm.
patriarchal, it's male dominating, it's
Mm-hmm.
anti-women, and women are so many accusations by people who haters will hate. But in
Mm-hmm.
first century AD, There's no phonographic act in the Hindu world or
mm,
in Southeast Asia. Every knowledge was valid knowledge. It was revered, and gurus taught this knowledge to their male students. They don't teach to female students. Female students, the ladies will teach, right? So it's very important knowledge. So chapter two talks about that, the importance of that, and then also talks about the um, genitals, sizes, and also the different kinds of embracement
mm,
according to the passion. See, when you really go through the how to embrace a lover, we put
mm,
lover, how to embrace the lover, whether man or woman, and you can see the embrace becomes more and more passionate. When you read it itself, the description, it's because
mm,
they go on the degree of passion. Once the person is fully passionate, then when their pleasure-seeking mind takes over,
mm,
then there's no more rules.
mm, mm.
No more rules. It's written clearly in there. That's why they don't have much techniques. There's only
Okay,
four they show. Okay,
okay.
and then they talk about markings, kissing, biting, all kind of other techniques. Anybody want,
Mhm.
they can buy the book and read it. We don't have to go into details for that.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and after these techniques, they whatever they have explained there according to the passion, how to make the see very one line they say is, if you do what the woman your lover likes or your wife, in the manner they're talking about the wife your lover likes, and she reciprocates to do what you like, and according to the degrees of passion, as the age
Mhm.
goes by, passion changes, right? You will love each other for the next 100 years. Simple.
Exactly, exactly.
Finished. You know. And one important thing in Kama Sutra that the whole world forgets because everybody highlights the second chapter. Only in the Kama Sutra, they ask what is love. Okay.
Mhm, mhm.
So the underlying principle for love in the Hindu Kama Sutra is love is a habit.
Say again, love
Love
is a
is a habit.
habit. Okay.
Habit. It's
Mhm,
not chemistry.
mhm,
Okay? It's not fireworks.
mhm,
Love is a habit. Their core psychological level they're talking,
mhm.
right? You can't fall in love with somebody you don't know.
Correct.
Impossible.
Mhm.
If you don't even have an image of that, you can't. So from that habit comes the second one, where they say love is from imagination, because you
Mhm.
already have an image of that person, or you've heard
Okay.
stories of that person. Somebody promotes a guy or a girl to you, and you feel that, oh, okay, I like this person, and you want to know more and more until the day you meet the person, you immediately fall in love with the person if you have affinity towards that. So
Mhm.
only in the Kama Sutra, the only book in the world, they have stated that love is habit.
Okay.
So when you look at it as love is habit, then the arranged marriage comes into play. Everybody, the whole world, who are Western educated, who are feminists, and also who are men who are not masculine, will condemn the arranged marriage. And they have teared it to pieces over and over and over again with the Western lines that arranged marriage is uh, what do you call making women objects as objects, right?
And many sexless marriage or
Ah,
divorce within
yeah.
few weeks of the marriage.
Let me explain something. I think while we are on this topic, this is very important. No? All the movies that the people watch, the hero and heroine are very beautiful people, handsome and beautiful people. So when they go out to a pub, all the women will turn and look at the guy, or when the woman walks into the pub, all the guys will turn and miss her. They're beautiful. What about the people who are not beautiful? Shouldn't they get married?
Mm.
Do they stand a chance when they go to the pub? Somebody is going to look at them and fall in love with them? No way. I know a lot of them who are not married till today. Okay. So the arranged marriage came, every parent's duty was to make sure their daughter or son got married. So the astrology came into play. I'll tell you how beautiful it was. Okay. I'll tell you how beautiful it was.
Mhm.
The astrologer was a honorable person, not like what they show in Bollywood. He had access to a lot of astrologies, and he was the middleman. So parents will give their suitable age girl or guys. There was no photo at that time. We are talking
Mhm.
about BC and early AD. No camera, nothing. No
Mhm.
handphone, nothing. No electricity. Okay, the astrologer has to see the girl, has to see the guy, and then they do draw the charts, and he'll have many, and he'll go home and try to find the most suitable one. So they eradicate about 60 to 70% of the problems that this person are compatible. They will have
Mhm.
children, and they will have a long life together. If one of them has a short life, they won't recommend. Okay, these are all very important things. Yeah, 12 things they look at. Even even recently, I found out one real meaning. There's something called dinam portam, where they see
Yoni Yoni.
dinam.
Mhm.
That is yoni is the wrong word, but now when they've used it, we follow. Dinam portam. In Tamil,
Mhm.
dinam portam is he stingy or not stingy? They can check that also. I was
Mhm.
surprised. I didn't know the real meaning until one astrologer explained to me. Oh, okay. And they've shown me some
Stingy
people
in what, Guruji?
don't spend money. So if your daughter
Okay.
gets married to this guy, he's a miser. He won't spend money. Your daughter will have to spend money for herself. What kind of life is that? So that for me, it was not whether they are right or wrong. That detail that they're looking at the compatibility, that is very clever. That
Mhm.
is very clever from the charts.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know the person at all. And most of the time, the people I know, they are so perfect that I was like, wow, this is too good a science that they can tell. No,
Mhm.
we can
Mhm.
give them a chart of a person we know in their married
Mhm.
life or whatever, and they'll tell exactly, no, this person is dead. Why are you giving me a dead man's chart? And people have done that. So to
Mhm.
that extent, they do the research, and then I'll tell you one beautiful scenario. It's not without the girl's approval. Okay, we have one social center that everybody forgets in those days. It's called a temple,
Mhm.
right? Whenever we wanted to see a possible future bride or bridegroom, the families and the astrologer will arrange for them to come to the temple in the pretext of praying or doing puja, and they will see each other. And then go home, they will tell their parents, no, I like him, I don't like her, whatever.
Okay.
Right? That's number one. Once they have their approval, because it's a matured society, very educated, mature society, once they have their approval, then they will arrange a day to go and view and visit the bride and bride's family at the house, at the girl's house. Okay. Why do they do that? A lot of people, they're coming with their relatives. Normally, not so many people. They won't burden them, right? And normally, they won't eat, in those days until the marriage is done or the engagement is done, the person is done. They won't eat. The first time they go, they might have a drink of water only or more buttermilk. They
Mhm.
won't eat because they are not supposed to burden the family because they might not form the alliance. They might go and see and they won't like and they can reject, right? But they went to see the house, to see the family, to see her physically really well if she is complete without any, uh,
Mhm.
say deformities or sickness, right? And they also see the house and their condition of living,
Mhm.
whether it's compatible to their way of life. It's not like what the movies portray. A prince or rich guy will come and go to a small village and marry a poor woman, and her life will be, she can't
Okay.
she can't fit into that world. So
Mhm.
all the compatibility is seen first, and it's done very professionally and beautifully, and then they set the engagement and marriage date. Okay? And there was a chance for every man and woman, whether they are handsome or beautiful, to
Mhm.
get married in this way. Today, 80% of parents are not doing that. They
Mhm.
let, because of the Western freedom, they
Mhm.
let the girls to find their own spouse, and they are having a lot of problems. A lot of them are not getting married at the right age,
Okay.
and they can't have enough children. They
Okay.
have one children, right? And then, like we were discussing, due to not having sexual compatibility, they don't have a sex life after the first child.
You answered my next question without even asking that question. So my
It
next
comes with
question
this
was,
topic.
yeah,
Comes with
my
this topic, the
yeah.
sexual compatibility and all kinds of compatibility. You see, there are a million reasons anyone can get divorced. Okay? You only need a very few out of that 7 or 8 out of the 12 compatibility we see for them to stay married forever. The Western world forgets. Okay, in the Kama Sutra and in the Hindu Shastras, a human's life is divided into 100 years. That's the lifespan they give. Of course, we live up to about 120 years, but average they take it 100 years. In these 100 years, it's divided into 25, 25, 25, 25. The first 25 is called the Brahmacharya period, okay, a student period, okay, where they are told to abstain from sex because it disturbs your mind, concentration, focus. The first 25 years, they're supposed to study. And then they start the study period 0 to 9 years old. A child's bones are not hard enough. This is roughly science, medical
Mhm,
science. 0 to 9 years old, a child is still developing mind. The ego doesn't form until 9, 10 years old.
mhm,
Up to then, the child doesn't know who he is. Okay? And we all have to thank our mother, really our mother. Only our mother tells us this is your father. It's a very important point of a
mhm,
mother.
mhm.
We must respect our mothers. If she points to this man and says, "This is your father," we are going to believe that this is our father for the rest of our life.
Right.
And many have lied due to circumstances in their life, but
Mhm,
many always tell the truth because the father is there with them. Right? This is why we must value our mother so much. Only they know
mhm,
the truth. Right? So 0 to 9, once the bones are formed at 10 years old roughly, when the eye comes into play. Before that, they don't know eye. They all play together. They don't know color. They don't know
right.
anything.
The ego comes into play. Yeah.
Ego comes into play, the eye. But before they have desire, why the year 10 years old, 9, 10 years old is very important is before they have any desire, they are sent to a guru. That was the Gurukulam system, Guru Shishya system. Once they send to the Guru, they study with the Guru minimum of up to age 16 or up to age 25, 24, 25, at least 12 years. 22, 23, 12 years. Minimum is 12 years. But the earliest is age 16, they can leave because they're already grown up, they're marriageable age and all that. Why they send to a Guru before puberty is that in yoga, when they do asanas, yama, niyama, asana, then pratyahara, and all that
Pratyahara.
come into play, when they do all that, and when they go into teach meditation, they learn one pointed focus and they learn to concentrate. So they can control their mind to a good extent. By being able to control the mind and also
Mhm,
memorizing a lot of the shlokas, mantras, books and all that,
mhm,
when the sexual urge, they reach puberty comes into play, they are able
mhm,
to control themselves and abstain from unnecessary sexual thoughts and
mhm,
sexual habits. Nowadays, it's not there. So we see a lot of young people, teenage people getting into a lot of problems because they can't control their mind and it ends up with unbridled sex. Sexual problems are too much nowadays, especially in the Western world still. The
mhm,
Asia is a bit late, but it's still there. So all
mhm,
these things are prevented by going under a guru, and especially yoga. Yoga matters. Okay,
mhm,
every Hindu child or every child at 10 years old
mhm.
must learn yoga for the next 5 years or 6 years. World will change. Okay? And that's why I'm trying to start a Gurukulam here in the coming year. So they keep on studying until they graduate The longest period, 12 years, is they are 22, 23, 24, 25, let's say, graduate. And then they are learned scholar. From 25 to 50, they are supposed to, after study, graduated, they are supposed to gain, they learn two things. One, they learn Dharma. Another thing, they learn other Shastras and other things or skills so they can know how to find wealth. So
Mm.
from 25 to 50, their work is to find Artha and Kama, wealth, and once they have
Pleasure.
wealth, and pleasure for their mind, senses. So that is done by marriage. If they didn't get married, they will have to find it outside. So when they go and find it outside, they'll be wasting their time in looking for Artha. We only have 25 years. Okay? See, from 0 to say 25, the first quarter,
Mm.
is a learning period, learning curve. Everything you have to learn. Okay? At 25, you're a full-fledged human being, man and woman, woman younger. Okay?
Mm.
25 to 50 is a very short time. It's not long.
Mm.
But in this 25 to 50 is where you can earn your most wealth and where you can have your most pleasure because your body is fit at this time. Your mind is fit, everything after the
Right.
21st wedding. So they don't waste it. They try to get them married as soon as possible so they can start their life because only when marriage and a child happens, the responsibility comes in. This we all know.
Mm.
Okay. Without marriage and a child, there's no responsibility to the greater extent. But once you are married and have a child, the man becomes from first he becomes a husband, then he becomes a father, right? The woman becomes a wife first and then becomes a mother. The roles change, right?
Mm.
And every 5 years or so, the mind changes. Mind becomes more mature because you've gained the knowledge and then
Mm.
new knowledge you have to gain. The old one is not attractive anymore because the mind's desire system works like that. So the progress is they from 25 to 50, they will do all these things. And from 50 to 75, right? Brahmachari, this is 25 to 50 is grihasta, householder, right? And then 50 to 75, 75 to 100 is sannyasa, vanaprastha. 50 to 75 is vanaprastha period. Okay, why this vanaprastha period is important? We learned first 25 years. Next 25 years, we satisfied all
Explore.
our desires.
Explore. Yeah.
We satisfied all our desires. That's the most important point.
Mm.
25 to 50, we satisfy all our desires. When we are coming 50, most of the time you see in the 40s, people have a midlife crisis. Okay, people overlook and neglect this midlife crisis. Midlife crisis is a sign showing that this is not what you're supposed to do until the day you die. Wake up.
Mm.
Okay, there's a knock on your door to wake up to the spiritual world.
Mm.
That's midlife crisis. No, it's not what you're doing is not this repetition. It's boring and
Right.
the money is there. So to
Yes.
jump off that is the vanaprastha period, where when we got married, our parents retired. They stayed home and let us run the business or do whatever the continuation of the family business. Most of the time, or skill or work.
Mm.
Okay, and then when we are reaching our 50, 50 plus, our children, if we are married at the right time and have children, they will be 25.
Mm.
They will take over and we can take a seat back and we can start doing more spiritual practices.
Mm.
And we are supposed to live a little bit out of the city. Instead of being the busy hustle, we go out a little bit and just concentrate on doing whatever spiritual, or we can stay and we can do. So another 25 period, yes, we are doing more spiritual and spiritual because the mind becomes tuned to it naturally.
Mm.
When you don't do this, a lot of people will do a recycling. That's when they divorce. That's when they get married again. They'll have child again. It's a rebound, and they keep repeating the same mistakes over and again. If you have completed all the sections very well, very fruitfully, your desires will die. So how to
Hmm.
kill desire is to participate. That's where Tantra comes in.
That is what exactly I wanted to do a video about
Yeah.
tantric
It comes in
sex.
because Tantra is indulge the body in the experience so that you won't crave for the experience anymore. So the Panchamakra comes in, you know, Panchamakra. Roughly, next time we'll talk a little more in it. And now, because we have Kama Sutra, that's Tantra. Okay, Panchamakra comes in because you have to indulge. And then when the
Mhm.
Guru tells you out, stop, you stop. So if you drink alcohol, say you drink until the Guru tells you to stop, you must stop. And many have fallen. That's how the
Right,
Guru tests you. You know, they become an alcoholic and forget about it.
right.
So that's Tantra, but this is not Tantra. Vanaprastha is you do spiritual practice and all that. And then at age 75, even if you don't go to temple, it's okay. Because your body is your temple in Tantra. No? So then you become a sannyasa. There's no more any physical contact with your wife, or wife also becomes a sannyasi. You can live in the same place, do the basic stuff, but you carry on with your life. So these are the four stages of a Hindu life that have been broken down and given in the Kama Sutra in all our Shastras, right?
Okay.
And then after that, they talk on how to choose a wife, what kind of family,
Mhm.
how about a health, how about a behavior. There are a lot of criteria they put in as a
Mhm.
guideline, not as a condition, as a
Mhm.
guideline, because it changes according to the district, to the region, to the practices of the local customs and cultures. It changes. So we
Mhm.
must be able to adapt these guidelines into every other place we go. Not
Okay.
rigid. So to call Kama Sutra patriarchal and anti-woman and all is wrong because it's first century guideline. We must adapt it to the modern situation. And
Mhm.
also, they talk about the seven kind of marriages. They have
Mhm.
seven kind of marriages. They talk about that and why someone should get married. Why you call the society to come and watch the marriage, because at least they know that this is your wife and they know this is your husband.
Mhm.
You know, there's no camera, nothing, no electricity. You know, it is a very
Right.
dangerous world where
Right.
each other, the whole community protects each other. You know?
Mhm.
And in explaining this, also there's one more that happens is, you know, the coming of age ceremony when a girl attains the
Yes.
first.
Yes.
There's no,
It's still going on in Tamil Nadu and all
yeah,
that.
it's still going on. You know how much they've desecrated this ceremony,
Mhm.
especially radical leftist feminist women, without understanding what it is.
What exactly it is?
I'll give a short explanation about this. Why it is very important at that time. Now in modern times, it's different.
Mhm.
Okay, when say when before puberty, all the children, girls and boys, play together. Okay, because nobody has a sexual urge at that time. They don't see a sexual difference at all.
Mhm.
Every child understand and they look at their own. You know, people don't understand how human works.
Mhm.
A baby will look at the baby. If you take somewhere, a baby will look at the baby. Well, baby won't look at an adult, right? A young child will look at a young child. They find attraction in looking at each other and then start communicating.
Mhm.
Adult will look at an adult. This is nature. So
Right.
all the children of the similar age, if you put them around same place, they all play together. There's no discrimination and there's no sexual urge.
Mhm.
But the moment a girl attains puberty, her first menses, okay, then we have the coming of age ceremony, where it's a matriarchal ceremony. It's not a patriarchal ceremony. These are lies by the Western world to desecrate our culture. All the women get together and honor and teach the girl not to be afraid of the menses. You become a big woman, it's a childbearing woman, and you are going to can get married in the future. So they welcome her into womanhood. What is wrong in that?
Right.
There's nothing wrong in that, right? And they give her new clothes. They give her, you know, all the bangles, jewelry. You know, they put jewelry and everything. put garland of flower,
haldi, and all this
everything. Wash
ceremony.
because of the smell.
Mm-hmm.
Common sense, because of the smell. Menses
Mm-hmm.
smell, they call it the pacha smell, the green smell. It's
Mm-hmm.
not good. It attracts a lot of other things that we don't talk about here, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the unseen things. So that's why they have a lot of flower, the haldi ceremony, bathing, to welcome her into the womanhood. And then, they have this maternal uncle,
Mm.
Thai mama,
Yes,
mother's
yes.
brother.
Mm.
Okay, mother's brother is introduced into the ceremony as the first choice husband.
Yeah, I heard that. I think it is still that custom is
Yeah,
there in Tamil
yeah.
Nadu, right? So where the
Introduce.
marriage.
I said use the word introduce as a
Mm.
first choice
Mhm.
husband. If nobody gets married with her, he can get married. But most of the time, the age is too far. They don't get
Mm.
married unless
Right.
they are very, close by, and if they want to. But most of the time, they don't. But why they introduce him as the Thai mama, maternal uncle, as the mother's brother, as a potential groom,
Mhm.
is that because he takes the responsibility of this woman, like from a girl of the woman, to protect her in the village, to protect her in the village,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
then from that day onward, she can't play with the boys. And if anybody pulls her hand, the whole village will say, "Hey, what are you doing? She's a woman, don't touch her," right? Because her desires have come out. The she can feel the desire compared to before she didn't have the desire.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was all about protecting the girl who have attained
Mm.
womanhood.
Mhm.
Nothing to do with desecrating her. There was no
Okay.
electricity, there was no police station, there was no handphone. It was total darkness in the night, and everybody came home before dark. Okay. So all these things we have to bear in mind and say what they did is right for that time,
Mhm.
protect the girl, because a girl and a woman is the most central and important figure in any culture.
Right.
Okay, the harbingers or the carriers of culture and religion are always the woman of the house, not the
Mhm.
man.
Okay. Okay.
So we have
Good.
also put that
Yeah.
aside. Carry on.
Yeah, Guruji. See, again, I'm just coming back to the same little bit in a different way. I see the ladies, especially our Indian ladies, right?
Hindu,
They,
Hindu
Hindu
ladies.
or no, commonly I'm saying
Okay,
they lose their sexuality
I
after the marriage, especially after their
childbirth.
delivery and stuff like that, right? So if you
Yeah,
just look at, and not just sexuality they are losing, they are sometimes if you just talk to some women, what you observe is like they show tendency more of a man than it's
yeah,
the trend is coming, right?
yeah.
You feel like it's a soul of a man caught in a woman's body or something,
Yeah,
maybe due
I've
to
seen.
different circumstances. This is I'm just taking one subject which I thought of doing a video about tantric sex. Since you are an expert, maybe I can have you answer that, why
Yeah,
it is and how to bring back that sexuality of a woman throughout.
okay. Um, Number one is Western education.
Mhm.
Okay, you can see a lot of girls and women who have not had the Western education. There are a lot of places where they have the very simple, normal education,
Mhm.
right? They are more feminine. They embody the feminine a lot. But then a lot of the Western educated women in the Western world, and now it's spread to Asia, right? Women are made to play rugby, football, many things.
Mhm.
Okay, and they say it's equal rights. We don't care. It's up to them. It's their individual choice. That we are not interfering. What I'm saying is that um, their body hormones are affected.
Mhm.
Okay, their menstruation is affected. And then there is one condition called is where during menses one of the cells doesn't come out properly but reverses and goes and attaches to the ovaries. I forgot the medical term for it. Okay,
Hmm.
and then it grows as a growth outside and causes a lot of pain for the women. Okay, this happens because during menses they uh, physically didn't rest. They were very active. So
Hmm.
instead of the flow going outward, this is a scientific term, data I'm talking. I'm not talking from yoga because I read that.
Guruji, in olden times, I don't know now it is happening in our community, in Kerala villages, during their period cycles. Women are advised to go into in olden Kerala homes there is something called as there is some separate area for
Mm,
women, right? They have this work area and stuff like that where
yeah,
usually the gents won't be entered
not
in.
allowed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so these 5 days it's their world and they will be enjoying
yeah.
the
They are
beauty of
supposed
life
to.
inside that
Yeah,
particular area, and they are not um, willing, or the norms is like, they are not want to come out from that place and
yeah.
expose themselves into the public,
Of course, of
or
course.
to the puja room, or
No.
anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is the science behind that? So, do you think during these 5 days, sex should be prohibited, or
Of course,
all connection to the outer world should
not
be
all connection to the
limited?
outer world, but
Mhm.
sexual intercourse is prohibited because it's not healthy.
Why? Why?
Because the it's the menses is the breaking of the egg that is not fertilized. Okay, so it is become bad egg. It's bad egg. Okay, it can turn into poison. So the bad egg must come out. So the natural flow is that woman's uh, flow, the energy is downwards, more towards downwards. Okay, man's flow is more upwards. Okay, that's why you see a lot of men who will have a patch of bald head more than women. Women won't have, very rarely they'll have, unless there's been some chemical or some other problem. But naturally, men will have a bald head here because the heat dissipates here very hot. You can touch and see. Ask any man to touch, will be very hot. Compared to women, will be a little bit cooler because the energy goes downwards. They have to because they menstruation regularly monthly, and then giving birth. The vayu, apana vayu is very important. For the five vayus, the apana vayu is very important, and that's why also. Okay, since we are at this, I better also tell this. Might help somebody. Um, Hindu women wear only gold up to their waist. From here up to their waist, the waist band they wear, it can be made of gold. Even man and woman, they used to wear it gold only up to the waist. Okay, below the waist they can only wear silver.
There is a trend in Kerala, Guruji. You know this Padasaram, right? What you call for that? The
The
leg.
touring,
Yeah. No,
the
no.
touring
Touring is a different thing. In
anklet.
Kerala, they have I don't know the English word for it. It's called as Padasaram. It's a small bracelet kind of thing they
Mm,
wear on their
ankle
toes. Yeah,
or toes,
ankle. Sorry.
ankle. Okay.
So there is a trend, like, all these women, they wear gold Padasaram. So it's when you said,
They,
the below the
yeah,
waist.
they,
So
they they never study science. That's why what the jewelers make nowadays, they just wear because the Western world and a lot of the other countries in the world don't have this science till today. They have not experimented or researched on it. Only Hindus have. Hindus have. I can tell you from the earring. from the waist and also this.
Mm.
But the
Mm.
top, will keep it simple. Top is gold because gold absorbs energy and
Mhm.
keeps it.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, that's why the tali in South India is made of gold. What women
Okay.
wear.
Mhm.
Okay, also that has been said patriarchal and men imposed on that.
Mm.
No such thing. Okay, early
Okay.
times they used to wear, both men and women used to wear tali from
Mhm.
the palm leaves made nicely, not coconut palm, the palmyra tree,
Okay.
that thin palm leaf. They both tie each other with the garland and all. That was the tali. When it's going to fall off, they'll put a new one, both men and women. But
Mhm.
the Siddha yogis
Mhm.
came out with this goal to be worn at the solar plexus. Solar
Okay.
plexus. So when they tie the tali during marriage, somebody will hold it here exactly at this spot, and then
Mhm.
only the husband will tie it to the lady. Now,
Mhm.
why do
See
they
this.
tie?
This is what exactly I was saying, Guruji.
Yeah,
Padasaran. This
yeah.
is a common trend in Kerala,
Everywhere,
where
even
all women. Yeah.
Singapore, Malaysia, they're doing it. Okay, which is wrong. I'll come to
Okay.
that. Why they
Okay.
put the tali here with a certain weight? There must be, they say in our language, at least a quarter pound,
Mhm.
something. There's a gram in it. Because when they wear it exactly at the solar plexus at a certain weight, it
Mhm.
always touches the solar plexus. If you wear it too light, it will move. Okay. Why they want to touch the solar plexus is the goal absorbs good energy and it supplies good energy to this chakra, Anahata
Mhm.
chakra. For your well being, in your Anahata chakra is balance, your well being, and your mental health, especially for the woman because they go through a lot of problems if they don't have extra support.
Okay.
Okay, men don't need this because they're more stronger naturally. Okay, that's why the reason they wear the tali. It's not
Mhm.
patriarchal. No. So you can see a lot of women who have been gone through a lot of distress. Also, mentally they are stable in their lives.
Mhm.
You see the old grandmothers, they are still fine. Okay,
Mhm.
and then why
Mhm.
they wear silver at the bottom is that, especially the toe rings. Once they're married, they wear the toe rings on their second toe,
Right.
both legs. Is silver helps to dissipate negative energy to the earth. Okay, so when they're menstruating, whatever energy, because we are only looking at the physical side is the menstruation, we are not looking at the energy. The
Mhm.
siddhas look at the energy, they put all these, say the advisable, and the negative energy dissipates through the earth. This one
Mhm.
anybody can experience. You just go and stand barefoot on the grass for half an hour or on bare earth for half an hour, everyone will feel better.
Okay.
Okay, it resets you. So wearing the toe ring, both men and women used to wear. Okay, now this
Men also touring.
men also used to wear. Whatever energy can go down
Guruji,
will.
see, let me. That triggers one question. See, I have initiated through a sampradaya called Natha Yoga
Not
sampradaya
the yoga.
for yeah spiritual process. So therein, all these Natha yogis, not the normal Grahastha Natha yogis, but the gurus of the lineages, they have a tradition of wearing copper kada on their right leg.
Right leg, copper kada.
Copper kada. So what is the science behind it? I've seen many of the gurus, they're wearing that.
Okay. What I know is that you
And they will
see,
do this also if they are into the proper lineage. They will put some kind of a thing on their right
yeah,
ear also, both
not
and
pierced,
leg pierced.
right ear, right leg.
Yes.
What I know, I know very little about this, but I know something about it.
Mm.
Is to control the energy from dissipating. See, their energy is actually bigger than their body. The
Mm.
gurus
Yeah.
who have attained moksha level, their atma and the energy together with the energy can leave at any time. If they will it, they can leave. So to leave it or let it go out at this point of time because they know bodily karma, they have to finish it.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
to control it, they will wear all these things. I don't
So
know
it's for
how it
grounding. It's for
grounding.
grounding.
I don't know
Okay.
how it works, but that's
Mhm.
what they say. They wear it to not to let the enemy penetrate too early.
Okay.
If because they have to finish their bodily karma here.
Okay. Okay.
So the touring also, because
Mhm.
it helps to dissipate energy, it helps to regulate the menstrual cycle of the woman.
Mhm. Mhm.
So these are all science based, but a
Mhm.
lot of people don't know the explanation, so it became corrupted over the years.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
So to
So
bring back my question, Guruji, why the ladies, our ladies, loses their sexuality and how they can retain it back, even though after post marriage, post delivery, and stuff like that.
there are two players at this level. Okay,
Mhm.
number one is, remember earlier we talked, you know, beast also has sex
Mhm.
and is natural. Animals also. Why do men have to learn? The problem is a lot of men don't learn and study the Kama Sutra,
Mhm.
so they are equal to a beast. They don't know what to do. See,
Mhm.
from the words I said just now, if you keep on doing what the woman likes, your lover likes, and your lover keeps on doing what you like, then
Mhm.
the love will last for 100 years, right? First of all, the man will stop doing things for the woman, what the woman like. They will stop, especially after childbirth. It's the fault of the man in the beginning. I blame the man because I've seen this myself many times, right? And before, see, in today's world, we don't talk about Kama Sutra, today's world, while pursuing the woman, before she agrees to be the man's wife, they do everything. Buy flower, take them out for dinner, buy good clothes, go shopping, they try to spend a lot of time, text them, everything. Once they are married, all this stops abruptly. The woman is neglected, she's at
But that
home,
is vice versa also, Guruji. From
vice
the
versa.
ladies' side also, you
Yeah.
cannot just blame men
No,
for it because
no.
what I see more is the women of our
Nowadays, yeah.
culture, our
Yeah.
culture, not the West. West,
Yeah.
they keep on maintaining their sexuality. That is what my opinion. But
Yeah.
our women, they just
They lose hope.
they
They
lose.
lose
Yeah.
hope, they lose interest,
Mm,
right? And then they let all of the things because they find this is not important.
mm,
They're not giving importance. It's a mindset. And also depends, there's a difference between the women who are not working, who are housewives, and there's a difference between women who are working. The career woman has got less time, right?
mm, mm.
So all this has to be rectified by themselves. I would suggest that both the men and women practice yoga regularly because yoga is the only thing that resets your hormones. And does
That
resetting work
includes the
for men?
sexual hormones also.
Yeah, of course, all hormones. And
Right.
resets the your uh,
Estrogen.
no resets your body up to the cellular level. Only
Mm,
yoga, no other exercise.
mm.
So yoga resets up to cellular level and then resets your hormonal. A lot of
Okay.
imbalance will be there.
Mhm.
Imbalance will be there after childbirth. We don't know after childbirth whether they've been taken care properly or not.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't know. I noticed this in Indonesia, Javanese woman, right? They have a 40-day period. What Hindus used to have also 40-day
Mhm.
period of recovery for the woman, and they take the right medications, natural medications, and their body becomes fit again. They lose all the pregnancy weight.
Guruji, see these things are there in traditional deep rooted Kerala villages also.
Yeah,
We call it as prasava
yeah,
raksha,
same.
right? But these days the women are not following. Again, I'm coming back to the
Yeah,
same question again. The
yeah,
women are not. They're just losing hope for something. They don't consider this as the primary thing, right?
yeah.
I see
Exactly.
that they don't want to bring back their sexuality. That is what exactly
Yeah,
I'm
it's
seeing.
it's the goals have changed, Jinuji. they are not interested in these things anymore,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That is their own self, their mind. You see the Western education, not totally, to a certain extent, and then
Mhm.
the expose. You see, a lot of them are more interested in watching TV,
Right.
right? So they are not giving importance to this, thinking that they're married, they have a child, it's okay until the rest of their life, it's okay, and then they
Mhm.
gain weight or they do less exercises and everything.
Right.
They have to. That's why I suggest doing yoga, because I've seen this personally with my students, right, before. And when everything is reset, they sleep better, they wake up better, physically they are more fit, and their hormones are all balanced. Then all these things come into play again. They feel more alive and attractive, both men and women.
Guruji, again, let me break you there. What, in my opinion, the physicality is just about 5 or 10 percentage, Guruji.
Mm.
The physicality. For example, there are few women, they are little oversized, right?
Yeah,
You feel that feminism in them,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That feminine nature, which a man is more attracted to rather
mm.
than any other aspects.
Yeah,
Wherein, if you just look at some ladies or women, they are physically, which
yeah,
I would say okay, but when you talk to them, their personality is more on a manly, or those
yeah.
which is not attractive for a man.
Yeah, but then, what we must also understand is we don't know what they've been through psychologically in their life. You know,
Mhm.
whether they've been abused before, they've been neglected before, they've been mistreated by men or women or family before.
Society, yeah.
So society, all those things come into play. We cannot pinpoint and say this is the reason that they are. Maybe they had to protect themselves all the time in this world today. It is become dangerous, right?
Mhm.
So their response system is different. And those days, you must understand, the whole village protected the women, right?
Right. Mhm.
So they didn't have to even think about protecting themselves.
Okay. Okay.
But nowadays, they are exposed to the world equal to a man, and there are so many nasty men out there. Okay, we can't say all of them angels. Nasty men out there. How is a woman going to survive without being hard? I
Mhm.
see it here in my own apartment complex. I see some people who are pleasant men and women. There are a lot of one who are nasty, and here we have mixture of races here. Some races don't like us. We don't like some races because they are very rude. This interplay is always there. So a woman is very fragile. If a woman is hurt once or twice, then there's a
Mhm.
defense mechanism that comes into play, and they lose their
Okay.
femininity, right?
Sure.
So in those
Sure.
days, going back to the Kama Sutra, the next chapter, chapter 2, 3, 4, after the marriage and all that, how a married woman should live, right? So in there, they've written that she should be the manager of a house. Okay, so that means she got married to a man who already has a house, a good house. So she becomes the manager of the house, the treasurer of the house, everything of the house. She runs the whole household, and she must, in there they will lay out, okay, she must know how to balance the oil, when to buy, when to keep it, how to store it. So again, it became patriarchal, but
Mhm.
nobody spoke about. Also, they say that she must know how to handle the servants,
Mhm.
right? First thing, when she gets up in the morning, she must have a good shower, right? And then she must alankara herself, make her look
Who
beautiful.
who does this these days, Guruji?
That's what's guideline in the Kama Sutra for a married woman. Because night you would have done something. You would have had made love with your husband or whatever. When you
Okay,
wake
so
up in
the
the morning,
cleanse, you cleanse that aura out,
yeah,
and
you
then.
you have a good shower,
Hmm.
alankara, apply makeup, whatever the pottu, whatever, and then you go and do the prayers, morning puja in your altar, and then you
Mhm.
start the household work with your servants. They didn't say you become a servant. Every time there it's mentioned with your servants, you must know how to instruct the servant, you must know how to instruct the gardener, you must get the guy to go and buy the uh, material, food made stuff for the house and everything, how to manage it. So she is like a queen, and she wears all the good garments. She's not wearing old clothes. She wears a good garments. If she's a South Indian woman, she'll wear a sari, expensive sari,
mm,
and then she'll wear all a gold on a daily basis. Everything. No, nothing is left. Everything she wears. How are we mistreating her? By keeping her in the house because she cannot go to the pub. She's got a good life.
right.
She's married to someone who loves her. She's got a whole family with her. She's got servants who work for her. She's got wealth, right? She's got knowledge. She knows how to sing. She knows how to paint. She knows the 64 colors, right? She knows cooking. And she wants to be a mother. She wants to have children. And she's protected. She has a lovely garden. She has pets. She has cows. What's wrong in living like that? My question is, what's wrong in living like that?
Mhm.
You have a good life. You are like a king and queen. Isn't that a goal of every human being to live like a king and queen without working? Let
if
other people
if
do the work.
if that is not on the cards, for example, there is no sexual compatibility, there
Mm.
is no mental compatibility, and you're not sexually attracted, you are into some kind of a toxic kind of a thing.
Yeah.
How do you identify that, and how do you come out of that?
Divorce.
Because
Don't waste
I
your
see a lot of these cases in our community on a
divorce.
daily basis.
Divorce. Or I've advised I've advised people today, I've
Mhm.
advised people
Mhm.
today, last few months. Go and see a good astrology with both of your chart. Ask him to
Mhm.
do a draw up a new chart and see your compatibility and see everything. 99% of the time, they have predicted that you can't live together, you will divorce.
Mhm.
And better advise them to get divorced.
Guruji,
Yeah.
I've seen a case where there is a marriage in Bangalore. It happened as per the astrology or whatever it is. They have found some Arara Puritam or some Puritam which they have seen already, and they got into marriage. And slowly things have started in a totally opposite ways, and they are ways apart, and they are two different zone altogether.
Immediately or after a few years.
Immediately, maybe a year, then they kept on hold for years, decades, for no reasons, and they're still continuing. The thing is, now these days, they approached an astrologer, and astrologer has been told this would have never happened. So
They're not
like this,
compatible, right?
yeah. So like this, there is a
They
change
lied.
in the astrology also those days.
The
There
first
is a change.
astrologer lied. The family made
Yes,
him lie.
yes, yes,
I have
something
had
like that.
cases here,
Yes.
exact same cases here. This was a friend. The family lied because they wanted her to get married.
Hmm.
Although she was in love with somebody, they didn't agree to
Right.
that. They didn't see the chart. They
Yeah.
got her married to somebody from outstation, saying that she will have a better life than all of us living in this small
Hmm.
village. They hid the fact from her that the husband will die early. That's cruel.
Hmm.
She's a friend. So she had to solo, 40, she has to bring up two children, and she did it successfully. And only her children now old enough working, they bought a house, a small flat, and they're living. She's happy there. But many times, what I would advise people is to don't check with one astrologer. Go and see unknown astrologers, one or two or three. Doesn't matter. It doesn't cost much money. But
Yeah.
ensure if the astrologer is right, then across the board,
Hmm.
7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, like that it will be instead of, haywire, upside down. So most of the time, if they are proper, then they will. Nowadays, even in computer, you can check. They are good ones, but it's
Hmm.
better to go and see someone because they can tell you the minute details of it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
my advice is if it's not compatible, don't get married. If you fall in love, also please go and check. At least you know this won't last. You might be
Hmm.
have a good boyfriend or girlfriend for 3 4 years, and then you
Hmm.
break up.
Okay. Okay.
Then find a
Again, yeah,
compatible.
that's clear, Guru. Again, coming back to my old question,
Yeah.
I still didn't get a
Answer.
proper pinpoint answer. How to bring back sexuality of a woman? How they can attract? How they can bring back that sexuality and keep up their marriage or
For,
whatever it is.
okay, for women alone, for men alone, it's easy to say.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay? Hormonal changes, food habits, everything affects us.
mhm.
Right? So you must go back to the original system, Ayurvedic system, yoga
Okay.
and all, so that your body becomes optimum, your hormonal function becomes optimum, your sleep, your health, everything.
Mhm.
Only then sexual desire will be there.
Okay.
That's women separate, men separate. When
So, do you
together,
think the yoga alone can bring in changes in
yoga
that
will
aspect?
bring in changes to the individual person's bodily
Mhm.
functions,
Okay.
right? Their hormonal balance and progesterone and estrogen hormones.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
their sexual desires are there or not there. Or the
Mhm.
health problems can be solved, okay, in the long run. But
Okay.
it resets the man individually and the woman individually, right?
Mhm.
Whether
Mhm.
they are going to be interested in each other, that I can't
That's a
say.
different ball game.
That's the difference. So we have isolated this for them to
Mhm.
get back into the situation,
Okay.
and then uh, for their compatibility, they have to work on it whether it's going to work or not. You see,
Mhm.
I I adapt. I adapt. Okay, those days, once somebody gets married, there's no divorce. Okay, because if they get divorced, especially for the woman, it's very hard
Mhm.
to live their life with children and all that. So there was no
These
divorce.
days, also, I see that, Guruji. I have seen marriages where they're just sticking on just because they are all accustomed to some kind of an equilibrium, which they
Yeah,
don't want to break it. That
yeah,
is point number one. The second thing is because when we talk, we I think we should be talking very practical.
yeah,
Uh, there are a lot of factors like the children. They
yeah,
are not in a stage where um, they cannot lose one of their
yeah,
parents.
yeah,
There is a lot of aspects to it, but
yeah.
still they are sticking on to some kind of a
I, I, I,
toxic
I know
relationship.
personally,
Mhm.
um, few married couples with children, but
Mhm.
some of them, their life survey is the husband works far away, so it comes every 1 month, 2 month, for a few days and goes off. So there's no flare up. Just
Mhm.
that few days, they do things together and then he goes off. So that is incompatible marriage actually,
Mhm.
right? It doesn't allow you to stay together.
So, what is your opinion on how to weigh out of these situations? Right, it can be for many various reasons.
Yeah.
How in our community, you are correlating Indian community, how it could be,
It's
and
very difficult,
mm,
Ginuji, because why?
mm,
If we are talking about totally Hindu education, Hindu culture, and Hindu way of
mm,
life,
mm,
then whatever works for them works in a very specific manner. But now there are people who are Western educated. Sometimes the woman is Western educated, the man is not so educated, and
mm,
they have health issues, these problems, psychological problem, family, too many things come
mm,
into
mm.
play. So if the marriage is working, be married. If marriage is not working, the best advice is get divorced,
What
because
of it?
you
Clear.
at least live your own life in your own
Guruji,
terms.
there is, like you said, in olden times, there is 64 kalas,
Yeah,
which were learned before the marriage and post marriage also. It was a continuous process, right?
yeah.
So, do you think bringing back those kind of a sex educations like which was there in the olden times, at least, and a combination of, like you said, the astrological
Yeah.
chart combination and all, do you think by considering these two parameters will at least clear out some 60% or 70% of what
I
the
I I
marriages are
believe it
going
will clear out 99%, because
99%?
why? I'll explain. It's a very very good combination you put together,
Mhm, mhm,
right? Making decisions without factual knowledge, and making decisions with factual knowledge is two different worlds apart. Okay.
mhm,
Nowadays, what has happened? everybody only studies school subjects, geography,
Mm.
history, math, science, physics, chemistry, and all that. Nobody studies life subjects.
I want to do a video about exactly this subject, Guruji. For some reasons,
Edu-
I couldn't do it. So I thought I'll
education,
just club with your Kama Sutra
education,
episode.
Gurukulam, and all we can do. It's a
Mm.
wonderful subject because if we
Mm.
go to the mind, we don't talk about external, internal.
Mm. Mhm.
So if see, like now I'm talking like this and you are talking like this because there's a basic knowledge that we share. You
Mm.
know about astrology, you know about astronomy, you know about Kama Sutra, you know about Hindu Shastra, the Sampradaya, the Guru Shishya knowledge. There's a
Mm.
wide range of topics that we know about. They're not specific subject experts, but overall on Hindu Shastra, whatever is there, we understand and we know, right? Because of that, our decision making process is based on this memory information. Okay, so I consult astrology to make a better decision, not to say I believe it in 100% and say I must follow it, to make a better decision. Because in my life experience, when I was young, I was a skeptic. Right? I didn't believe in God when I was young. There's so many things that I didn't believe. Because Western education says science is proven fact. The others are mythology. So I studied science when I was young. Physics, chemistry, biology was my favorite, right?
Mhm.
So that put in the mind is it's the Hindu education and Western education. The one main difference is Hindu education. You memorize the shlokas and then you discuss about it. So the input is already there, and then only you come it out and you discuss pros and cons with your guru, with other students.
Okay.
Western education, from the onset, the first line itself, why the five W's come into play, we
Mhm.
question everything. So, by learning in that Western tradition, from year one, I only became a skeptic because I questioned everything. To the extent that what I learned in school, I came back and when my father or mother said something about our culture, I questioned it. What is this astrology? What
Okay.
science is that? We always ask like that. So
Okay.
now, if our people learn all these things before marriage, young age,
Mhm. Mhm.
they'll see number one, they have to learn yoga from 10 years old, so they become healthy and they concentrate and focus their mind. Mind won't run. It's a great achievement. After that, they have to learn all this on the surface level. They don't have to be astrologists. What are the meaning for this compatible chart? Why they do it? What are the planets saying? How it's seen and all that. And then Kama Sutra is important. Okay, there are few books that are important. One of it is Kama Sutra is 16 years old. So they know what is the whole thing about. How to satisfy your desire. Because everybody talks about desire, pleasure, and all right. We have five senses. That's what the Kama Sutra says. We have five senses. Each point brings a message back to our mind. So we show our brain, mind is everywhere. Okay, to our mind, and the mind interprets it. If it goes to the pleasurable memory, it becomes a pleasure. It's very important criteria. The mind takes it and then it matches with our pleasurable memory, it becomes pleasure. The mind takes it and matches it with our painful memory, it becomes pain.
Mhm.
So that's why sexual habits are important to be done in a proper manner. So it goes in the first time, it is taught in the pleasurable memory. If in the first time there's been an abuse, it
Mhm.
will be stored in the painful memory.
Okay. Clear. Guruji, let me summarize it. Uh, so to bring back our tradition of astrology, the compatibility, and the ancient teaching, the Gurukula Sampradaya,
Yeah.
uh, I think we would be in a position, at least we can bring back the intents, spiritual tantric sexuality back into a community, and thereby the transforming ourselves into a very good moral society. That is what I could summarize from what you say.
Yes,
Right.
yes, to a great extent, yes, and to certain extent, no.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm,
because tantric sexuality is very lineage specific,
mhm, mhm.
not across the board.
Okay,
And then,
okay.
okay, it is not pleasurable sexuality.
Mhm, mhm. It's more
Okay,
of a spirituality. Okay.
it's Kundalini Shakti. It's
Mhm,
totally different,
mhm,
right? You see, in the Tantra books, the most famous is Arthur Avalon, the Sir John Woodruff.
mhm, mhm.
Okay, in one of his books, I forgot Garland of Letters or The Serpent Power or Introduction to
Mhm,
Tantra,
mhm.
one of the books.
Okay.
Okay, he says the mystic yogis talk about two seats, two
Okay.
asanas.
Mhm,
One is the asana offered to the lady, the wooden seat,
mhm.
palakata, for her to sit on the before the
Palaga. Yeah. Mhm,
start of the rituals. Then the mystics talk about another asana of some mythical asana that I don't understand what it is and nobody has explained to me till now.
mhm.
That's all is written about the mythical asana in his book.
Okay.
Okay? That mythical asana, even I don't want to reveal. I will reveal to you
Yeah.
personally. I don't
Sure.
want to
Sure.
reveal outside to the people
Sure.
because
Sure.
then the whole Western world will steal it
I
and
know.
they'll say,
Yeah.
Eureka, we found it and
Patent.
write
Patent
books on
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can patent it in writing, but they
Mhm.
can't experience it
I know. I know.
without the guru and devata's blessing. So
Okay.
that second asana, without activating that part, there's no tantra.
Mhm. So aspects of Kama Sutra is also will be helpful there to bring back that kind of moral
Knowledge. This
society.
knowledge is enough because this is knowledge for the common householder.
Okay.
We're talking about
Okay.
householders, not yogis.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Once you go into tantra, you're a tantra yogi.
Tantra. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, tantra yogi is different in the sense that
Mm.
once we talk about tantra, is
Mm.
this is a temple. Okay,
Yeah.
this is a temple, and then we are in the everything is Shakti. Even
Mm.
man is Shakti, woman is Shakti, the
Right.
energy, right? So it's not Shiva and Shakti, it's masculine energy and female
It's
energy
female
joining
and
together.
yin yang.
It's
Yeah.
not Shiva and Shakti. When they
Mm.
say Shiva and Shakti, Shiva is the, like we talk in our book, Shiva is the base light wave. Okay. The other day when we were talking on our book, I made one common error because of all the wrong translations they do. They said, I said fire, column of fire. Okay. It's
Mhm.
not column of fire, it's column of Jodi. I forgot that time to mention Jodi.
Yeah.
Column of Jodi means column that gives the base for the whole universe, our one
Mhm.
universe, is the
Okay.
light wave.
Mm.
Shiva
Mm.
takes the form of a light wave. That's the
Mhm.
Shiva Linga,
Okay.
right? So it's not fire.
Mhm.
So once Shiva takes the shape of the Shiva Linga, Jodi Linga, then physically he doesn't manifest. It's Shakti who allows for all the manifestation to happen, right? He just gives the Purusha aspect and Ardhana Shiva, Purusha aspect and uh, the feminine aspect, masculine and feminine. But Kashmir, if you look at Kashmir Shaivism, Shakti is everything. Man also is Shakti, woman is Shakti. The energy gets physicality. So in Tantra, they take the body as a temple,
Mm.
divine. Because we are created by the divine, we ourselves are divine. And then the practices are done. Of course, Dashina Marga is there, the right hand path, and Vama Marga is the left hand path. In left hand path only they have these Panchamakra and the Maituna practice, which is
Mm.
nothing wrong. Sexuality is, is human. Okay,
Yeah.
nothing wrong. But it's a ritual to activate your Kundalini Shakti,
Mhm.
and you must go into a trance level. It's not for the
Yes.
common people.
Both of you. Right.
Yeah, yeah, both of you. The what's the term? Too many
The
things have.
bliss. You'll go into a spiritual bliss through
You must
sexuality.
be able to control it with the help of your guru. If not, you will become something will
Mm-hmm.
affect your mind. It's too
Mm-hmm.
powerful,
Mm-hmm.
right? If Colonial Shakti goes out, your life goes out. Life
Right.
force. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't control it. That's why maybe you ask why they put here and why they put here. The Nath Yoga. There are
Yeah.
reasons for it. Don't go it
Right.
out this way, don't go out this way also.
Sure. Sure.
So that's not for the common people. Kama Sutra is good enough because see we've talked up to the marriage point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we talked about arranged marriage.
Okay.
Okay. After arranged marriage, it's not like what we see nowadays in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The movies have spoiled a lot of people. Okay. Or whatever we see in the Western movies. This young man has no experience. What he read is only in the books.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these uncle or elder people or friends who are married will explain things to him.
Mm-hmm.
And this young woman has no experience also.
Mm-hmm.
And then in astrology, in marriage time, they have something called Santi Muhurtam.
Shanti Murtam. Yes.
Shanti Muhurtam, they see is the most compatible time for them to have a child, good time. Then you
That
have
is
good,
as per astrology.
yeah, as per astrology, you have good children. Wrong
Mm-hmm.
time, you have wrong children. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here also, I must tell something. One of the gurus a few years ago came to visit Malaysia. I happened to go to his talk, and he gave one very good advice, which is written in a lot of the books and some
Okay.
very good Tamil books.
Okay.
He said, if the man or woman have not evacuated their bowels, that means they have not gone to toilet and they have not urinated, please don't have sex. Very good advice. He said, man and woman, either one of them have these, and because of this, their science, the old science says, the child can be born deaf or dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So he specifically mentioned this. He's a very, very well-known guru in South India from Tiruvannamalai, the Shiva temple, Agni temple. He said, please spread this knowledge to as many people as possible that do not have sex with your wife when your stomach is not cleaned and your urine is not cleaned. Same with the woman. There's no rush. Okay. So this is advice. I hope it reaches the world.
And also, Guruji, someone says like you shouldn't have sex while on periods also. So
Definitely not. Definitely not. Endometriosis, the medical term that the, the period cell, menses cell, instead of going out discharged fully, one of it floats back up, goes back up and attaches to the out of the ovary and start growing outside the ovary, right? Which causes immense pains to women. It happens because of these kind of things. They are overactive, so their body, the thing doesn't go down, it reverses up. They're overactive or they are upside down. They did exercise upside down, or they put their leg up on the sofa and lie down. There are very specific things they shouldn't raise their knees. A lot of things they have that they don't get this condition, endometriosis, and
mhm.
also having sex during that 5 days. Okay, this all causes diseases. To prevent the diseases, they were advised not to do this.
So what happens to a man if he does indulge in sex with a woman who is ovulating on a spiritual
Ah,
level?
it is a discharge of bad egg. Okay, so if there's any bacteria or anything, most probably it will get on his genitals, which is not
But
healthy.
bacteria and all these physical aspects, it is there either ways, right? Whether it is ovulating or not, you can see
No, no, it's
infections.
clean. It's really clean because of the hormones. It's very clean when it's not menstruating.
Mhm,
That's
mhm,
why they term it as unclean blood, unclean. And also, why just now earlier as I forgot to mention, he said they have a separate room those days.
mhm,
Okay, okay, we must really understand. Number one, the fear of the smell of the blood attracting unwanted things. what you can see and what you
like
can
what? Like what?
animals, blood smell,
Animals.
no?
Animals.
Jungle
Okay.
blood smell, animals and unseen things. Okay,
Mhm.
let's say.
Unseen things like energy. Okay. Okay. Got
Yeah,
that.
bad energy.
Tantra also says that. Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, they are there. It's in the Bible, it's in the Quran, it's in our Shastras also. Don't deny it.
Mhm.
Okay? The only person who will deny it is atheists. Let them be. It's their
Okay.
problem. But we know
Okay.
we've seen. We've seen. So I don't want to play
Mhm.
with these things.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm very straightforward. It is there. You don't believe it, it's your problem. But I've seen it.
Right.
I know what they can do. And
Right.
it's nothing to laugh about. Okay, to protect that. And then there was no there was no menstruation pads. We're talking about BC and AD before electricity and all. So
Mhm.
how did the blood go? It went to the earth. Okay, went to the. That's why they had a separate place. And then there were a lot of frankincense, and what do you call udipati,
Yeah.
incense sticks.
Sambrani. Incense sticks.
Sambrani incense stick. Frankincense is sambrani. Incense sticks is udipati.
Mhm.
Were there, right? Because the very concept is very simple. Why we do when we do puja, we do samrani and udipati and agni and all the panchabhutas is that the good smell attracts good energy. So bad smell attracts bad energy.
Okay.
Right? When you go to a new place, the first
Mhm.
thing is your nose. Before seeing, also your nose can smell things. Right? If there's bad energy in the place, you'll have a very bad smell, pungent smell. A lot of the tantrics know this.
Yeah.
They taught me all these things.
Yes.
So I'm not an expert, but their experience they shared with me, so I know. Before they see, they smell, then
Mhm.
they hear a few things. So that's why they have this samrani incense and frankincense to keep anybody from smelling the bad smell and coming. So they keep it fragrant, and fragrance attracts all the jasmine flower, all this kind of thing. So it is in even in tantric practice, only on the fifth day they do the maituna ceremony.
Mhm.
Only on the fifth day because they don't have intention to make the woman pregnant. Because for ritual purposes, it's practice. Okay, when we say ritual
Okay.
practices, maituna is a practice
Okay.
because the first time they will fail. They can't control their discharge, semen discharge. Okay, they can't
Okay.
hold their concentration. So it takes long time for them to practice with the same partner, if possible, their wives or whatever, for
Mhm.
them to have the um, to be able to raise their shakti slowly. It takes years. It's not one. Sometimes it's not one lifetime. It's few lifetimes. Right? So they do it on after the fifth day. After the woman had a shower and perfume herself and everything, they do it on the fifth day. Okay. So coming back to our Kama Sutra, after marriage, okay, they don't know each other. We assume that it's an arranged marriage, not a love marriage. They don't know each other. Okay. So the Shanti Muhurtam date all is fixed, but in Kama Sutra, it is advised to give a 15-day period before really having sex with the girl. Right. So a lot of people don't talk. The Western world don't talk about the 15-day period. They've read the Kama Sutra so many times. Nobody talks about this. Today, I'm happy that we got an opportunity to talk about this. 15-day
Meet
period.
and greet. Get to
Huh?
know period.
Yeah,
The get to know period.
exactly. So this 15-day period is the most important period because that's when they know they are married to each other. They have to live with each other, and they get to know each other. It's like what we nowadays modern world they go for
Living together.
not living together, dating. In
Mhm.
15 days they're forced to live together. They're married, no.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
the dating concept when they go out on a date. So I want to find out what you like. You found out what I like, and then I try to do what you like. You try to do what I like.
I really feel the need of that, Guruji, before the
Yeah,
marriage.
yeah,
Seriously.
yeah. So
And
they
and
they, they
if there
become
is If there is a
They
living together kind of a thing, at least if it is for few days, that will know a person more than what you talk over phone or
the the
anything
pro-
chat.
yeah, exactly. It's like going for a team building. What you're saying is going for team building, but without the sex,
Mm,
because sex messes up their minds.
right.
So without the sex, uh, so this 15 days, the most important factor, the core, always Kamasutra is about the core, not about the outside, is the man and woman
Mm.
gaining each other's trust. Dating also same. Until you gain the trust of the woman, she won't hold your hand. So when we see couples walking by just looking, we can tell. I can tell that they are new couple, just met, few days old, long time couple. Right? The longer couple, they won't even look at each other. Won't hold hands.
They are like strangers.
And exchanges.
Mm,
Okay, so in these 15 days, the man has to do the things and build the trust with the girl, and the girl has to build the trust with the man, and then they should like each other. So the progression is from talking to touching to kissing,
caring.
caring, and then to sexual intercourse. So it's a 15-day period so as not to scare the woman and vice versa, not to scare the man. Right? If they just jump into it on the first day, it is going to be abusive and with a lot of mistakes. Okay, and they
Mm.
always put a lot of jasmine flowers.
Why?
Right?
Why jasmine flowers? Not any other flowers, Guruji. I seen that
Very
in
beautiful
movie.
question. And then our Rajkumar will always have jasmine here
Yeah.
in
Yes.
his hand, in the
Why?
movies.
Why the obsession of jasmine flowers, but not any other flowers?
So you must be very happy with our Hindu scientists, the Siddha yogis from the BC period.
Mhm,
No?
mhm, mhm.
BC. Jasmine smell is a natural aphrodisiac.
Gotcha.
It enhances your sexual desire.
Sexuality. Yeah.
Sexual desire,
Mm.
not sexuality, sexual desire. The
Okay.
smells makes you,
Yeah.
very, your urges come
Fresh
up.
and. Mhm.
Like eating ginger, onion, your urges come up. So with the nice fragrance, only jasmine.
Okay.
That's why they grow a lot of jasmine. You
Okay.
know? So and then that's why they have jasmine and the women wear jasmine on their head. It's always to attract their husband. Now what women wear on their head?
Yeah.
Right? We didn't need perfume.
Mm.
For everybody's knowledge, we don't need perfume. Okay? We always use
Naturals.
natural organic stuff,
Right.
jasmine, sandalwood paste, and a lot of other oils and all we use to have shower, make ourselves smell nicely, and
Mm.
make ourselves look
Good
beautiful.
hygiene.
Good hygiene. See, it's a recommendation by yogis to clear our toilet in the morning. According to
Mhm.
Siddha and Ayurveda, it's not a joke. Before
Mhm.
sunrise. Only Hindu Shastras says that, Jinuji, nobody else. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Everywhere in the world, they go according to wherever they want. They go to a mall, they go to toilet, and then, they come out. It's not
Mm.
hygienic because our body functions in evacuation better before the sunrise. After sunrise, it slowly dries up. In the long run, over 30 years, constipation will be normal and lead to a lot
Mhm.
of sickness. This is in
Okay.
the Ayurveda text. Okay,
Okay.
so a lot of Hindus will do it in the morning, clean themselves, and then
Early
only
morning. Yes. Yeah.
shower, and they go on with their work. And
Yeah.
before puja,
No,
they will.
if you're in the spiritual sadhana, that is what you do, right? Before
You have
sunrise,
to.
you wake up and you
Yeah,
personal hygiene and then go ahead with the sadhana
yeah,
and then go for work. That's
yeah.
how that's a routine is. Okay.
So
Guruji,
same
we
thing.
just have to move on
Yeah,
because I
I
guess
know.
you are looking at the time.
I know.
It could be a long podcast. Um, um, so to close on with my last, how semen retention plays a role in kayakalpam, and how often is sex advised when you are into a spiritual sadhana? That is
Okay.
number one. And how sex is advised when you are into the normal grahastha life?
Okay.
If you can summarize.
Okay. Make it very short. Okay. Let's talk about the normal first.
Mhm.
In normal, when you're young, your desires are more in the beginning. It always goes on your desires, right? So a lot of research has been done by Western world. They say like 2 times a week is very good, which is also true with personal experience because um, releasing your semen for both men and women is you remove a lot of stress from yourself. The stress build up, especially for women, is not noticeable, right? But not having regular sex will lead to frustrations in life, and then
And
they
the
will,
diseases also, modern study says that.
yeah,
Cardiac,
like they say, it goes to your head. No, it's an old phrase. They say it goes to your head if you don't release
correct,
it.
correct.
Like that, the divergent problem will come that they don't find each other attractive because they are not creating a habit of liking each other. Right? The height of liking each other is intercourse.
Mm.
A man and a woman, husband and wife. I'm telling, the height when you're passionate about somebody, it ends up with intercourse, and then
Mhm.
it gives a sense of ananda, completeness. When a husband and wife have sex, at the finish, and they gives a sense of ananda, a completeness in their mind, and pleasurable. That's why we talked about the 15 days. Okay, and reinforcing that pleasure regularly makes it heavenly,
Okay.
right? So that's normal people. Okay, in the tantric part, like I said just now, number one, initiation by a tantric guru, right? Number two, on the fifth to the eighth day or ninth day, because the egg is not formed yet. So there's no, because in Hindu Shastra, even in Bhakti, Hare Krishna movement and all that, if they want to have a child, they do puja
Mm.
with permission of the guru, and then only they have a child. They don't simply have a child.
Okay.
Same like this in this path also, they do between the fifth to the ninth day so that they won't get pregnant, but to practice this ritual on the
Mhm.
Vamna Marga side. Without the initiation of the guru, nothing will happen. Without the second seat, asana was telling you, all this
Mhm.
is not possible. Without the ability and blessings from the guru and the devata or devi,
Mhm.
particularly in the sampradaya, the second asana won't be possible.
Okay.
See, so nothing will happen. Right?
Okay. So again, coming back, so how often? So are you saying twice in a week for the grahasthas? The reason I am asking is one of my guru in my lineage. I mean, one of my guru who is into Kriya lineage.
Okay.
I remember he even told me that 15 days once is good for the spiritual sadhak. I'm not talking about the grihasthas. Grihasthas
Oh,
can
okay, okay. Spiritual, you mean?
the spiritual, yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, it is a natural urge for the normal people. That is
Yeah.
what usually it happens. But you suggest it's like twice in a week, right? That
No,
is what
that is for the normal people,
normal people. Okay,
normal
okay.
couples, so that
Hmm.
the intimacy is there with them twice a week. Once a week is fine, but twice a week is good because
Mm. Gotcha. Mm.
all the stress will be released,
Released.
and the
Yeah.
love they'll feel more, and then
Mhm.
it's less repetition of the pleasure,
A sexual balance. Yeah.
sexual balance in the beginning. As you grow older, it will reduce. As
Hmm.
natural body,
Hmm.
after 50 so it will reduce. Just
Okay. Okay.
having a partner is different. But in the
Okay.
spiritual side, like you said, 15 days once. Like remember, I said the recommended is on the fifth day after the menstruation to the eighth day before the egg. So it's more like once a month, then twice a month,
Twice a month. Okay.
once a month, because
And
that's
that
the
Guru.
time period that the woman is free
Okay.
physically
Okay.
from
Okay.
getting pregnant. You know.
Exactly. That is what he also refers to. And what he's suggesting, he's a little bit into Tantra also. What
Mm.
he's suggesting, that one day you celebrate the whole day for that.
Yeah,
That is what
that's what
he
used to
says.
be there.
And
From morning till night.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
the
it should be
15
a
days.
tantric kind of an
It's,
activity wherein you will be
yeah,
in throughout the bliss. Like same in spirituality, what we
yeah,
do, the blissful. The
yeah,
same thing you can be in that avastha through
yeah,
sexuality also.
yeah. The 15 days
Hmm.
compressed into one day,
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
from
Gotcha.
morning to
Hmm, hmm.
night.
Okay.
And then, of course, depends on the day,
Hmm.
because
Okay. Okay.
the women's days varies. Suddenly it can be
Sure.
Paurnami,
Sure.
suddenly it can be Amavasa. So there are certain times they won't do, because that puja for the Devi is more important.
Sure.
This is set aside. So I haven't personally participated in that 100%. So I
Hmm.
don't know the do's and don'ts exactly.
Okay.
What I know is from what some of gurus have told me, explained to me,
Sure.
and what I've read. That's all.
Sure.
But
And the
the
rest of the
guideline,
days, he is also advising, after that one day celebration, you can even give few days, like 4 or 5 days to, especially that is the time when he suggests is their ovulation time, where you
yeah,
give complete freedom for uh, that women, and they can be on their own world. You shouldn't disturb them. Let
yeah,
let them be in their own space for at least 5 days in a month.
yeah.
That is what he suggests. Okay, coming to the other part of the question, and then we'll close it, Guruji. The
Okay.
semen retention and the kayakalpa, the young kind of a thing. And is there any relation in that
You
semen
see,
retention?
semen, when you see it's very simple. Okay, when you discharge, you lose energy. Okay, when you retention, then you are able to push the energy upwards.
Hmm.
Goes
And
back
it is
to,
and it is connected to your spiritual energy also,
yes,
the
yes, yes, yes.
sexual
Of
and
course,
spiritual.
they say the ojas and tejas.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
Ojas is your sexual energy, and tejas
hmm,
is the illumination.
right.
The light energy. The more you lose it, the more you become weaker.
Hmm,
Right? The more you retain it, and being able to raise it up takes a very long time. Raise it up. It goes back to your Kundalini Shakti being raised up to here, and then your
okay,
Kaya Kalpa, your Ananda, everything
happens,
comes into,
happens.
yeah, happens. But then it has to go back again. So that is the tricky part. It's not easy. It
So
is
it
Sushumna.
is a cycle. It is.
Yeah, it's your Sushumna
Hmm,
Nadi, right? The fine nadis, that
hmm,
fine, it has to go
yeah.
and and then come down again. And it is with your breath in full control. It has to be, right? So
Shara Yoga.
yeah, so it's a very technical, very very technical
It's
procedure.
totally a different episode altogether. Yeah.
I'm not an expert on it to go in minute detail. I know on the surface of it,
Hmm,
right?
hmm.
Because my experience, Jinuji, I have to share with you is, when I was meditating on the night of Mahashivratri many years back, I lost myself. Okay? So time to time, I
I
do
can
lose.
I can relate to that. Yeah, I've been in
It
that
happens to
that kind of a
everybody who
situation.
meditates long enough.
Yeah,
And I didn't know the time, how long it was.
yeah.
When I thought it was 5 minutes. When I opened my eyes, it was 1 hour. So
Hmm,
that experience, time to time, when I meditate, I get it. But
hmm.
I don't go towards into it like pushing it. I don't push anything, because
Right.
one thing my guru taught me: it might take this lifetime, it might take janma, but the process is automatic. If you put your foot into this path, The devas and devis will guide you. You don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Time is relative. Don't fight with it. Remove time,
There is no
space.
time.
Yeah, nothing. It can, that instant it will be like nothing. So
Mhm.
that experience of thoughtlessness in that Mahashivratri meditation, I fell in love with everything. That
Mhm.
experience was too beautiful that time stopped, space
Yeah.
stopped, thought stopped.
Yeah.
So very. One last thing I will finish off. Okay.
Yes.
In Hindu Shastras, Kamasutra and all that, they identify man like a people tree. People, no? Arsamaram. Okay.
People.
Men are like a strong tree. So when men must stand as a strong tree permanently in one place, and our attitude and nature, everybody should be able to predict. Okay, we go to Genu, I can talk to him, I can have a coffee with him, he'll always be there for me, he will take care of me, he will guide me. So man has always to have a stability in their mind and present it to the world. Women are like creepers. They will find the strongest tree and wrap them around the tree and live off the tree for the rest of their life. So, in your normal world from tomorrow, today, look at the men, a lot of the men around you, and you will find that a lot of men are trees and they will have very stable families. And you look at a lot of men who are not trees but are like the weeds, they will never have a stable family because women don't like instability. Woman's
Mhm.
mind is not stable in the not in a bad way. Their thinking process is opposite of us. So
Mhm.
what they look for is what they don't have, and our thinking process must be solid like a tree.
Mhm. Okay.
That's all.
That was very insightful, Guruji. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll come back with our next
It's
chapter of your book. That was
long.
very insightful, I would say. Very insightful. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you.